What's a women's thing men should absolutely start doing? As a former cook and current welder, hand lotioning. My dad refused to use hand lotion for a while and he kept getting big cracks in his knuckles. The cold would destroy his skin. He would only put lotion on when it was basically bleeding, by which point it can't really do much help. Moisturize. To steal from Bill Burr, guys, you can put lotion on other places than your dick. Your dick still looks brand new, while the rest of you looks like an aging pirate. You need to increase the circumference of the lotion distribution. Getting checked out by a specialist. There's a reason colon cancer has a higher mortality rate among men when it's actually one of the most preventable cancers. The thought of having a colonoscopy done makes them squirm. In the US you can also arrange for a Curgard screening, where you literally just mail in your poop and get tested for certain colon cancers. It shouldn't replace regularly scheduled colonoscopies, but it can be done between them. Problem with Curgard is screening is 100% covered. If it's the Curgard positive, you have to get a diagnostic colonoscopy which is subject to deductibles and copays. If you go with a screening colonoscopy in the first place you pay nothing. Skincare, what's so bad about looking younger when you're older? Washing your genitals before sex. Especially if you were like I'll pee beforehand. Also peeing after sex. My wife and I have been married long enough that wash your dick is now the code phrase for sex time. On the flip side, my husband says I washed my penis today to initiate. I've also adopted the phrase even though I have no penis. Sewing. Sewing is awesome. I learned basic sewing to make some bow ties for my wedding and it's an extremely rewarding skill that allows you to repair clothes, save money, and it's superb meditation. Not only repairing clothes, but basic tailoring. I learned how to do it on YouTube and it's a game changer as a guy with broad shoulders that make every shirt fit like a trash bag. I also learned from YouTube using my mom's 1972 Singer sewing machine. I made my own t-shirt and wore it to the pub and nobody said, "Did you make that yourself?" So I'm counting that as a win. Putting a blanket on your lap while you work. It's life-changing. A few days ago my wife brought a holeless double duvet into the living room because it's winter now. I thought she was mad but it's cozy as shit. I've got the dog under here. In my house we have an assortment of couch blankets. You really need more than one because you'll want to have one on the couch while the other is in the wash. We have a dog and 4 cats, so there's blankets everywhere. They all fight to get on my lap now when I have the duvet, even they know ordinary blankets are no match. Complimenting each other frown. I do this with my co-workers. Looking sharp today, Phil, is all it takes to make a day. A guard at my work was wearing a special vest last weekend and I told him he looked really nice and the other guard was like, "Yeah, Peter, you look really nice today." The smile on that dude's face will bring me joy forever. Was he guarding the nuclear vessels? Now that I'm growing my hair out a little longer, didn't know how much I was missing out on not using hair conditioner. Edit, since this comment took off I wanted to add, this comment is more of a statement of men not taking care of their hair the way they should. Whatever works for you, keep doing it. Just take care of your beautiful hair. I've been using the 3-in-1 stuff for years. I just thought my hair was feeling a little crusty the last month or so, but it's probably been an issue for years that I just didn't notice till my hair started thinning pretty bad. I bought a bottle of conditioner 4 days ago and the difference is unimaginable. Just did it on a whim. Never turning back. 3-in-1? What's the third thing? In a pinch you can use it for motor oil. The hell kind of 3-in-1 do you use? The third function of mine is as a dipping sauce for shower tendies. Body wash. I have long hair and I told my girlfriend and her friend about the conditioner I use and they laugh like, "How are you gonna use the worst conditioner on that beautiful hair?" I finally used some fancy stuff and wow, big difference. Edit, I asked my girlfriend what was the fancy stuff I used and she said it was either Nexus or Paul Mitchell. What's the fancy stuff, if you don't mind? I'm in the same market. When I decided to start acting like a grown-up and paying for better haircuts, the stylist recommended I drop the cheap shampoo and spend $1 on the overpriced fancy stuff they sold at the salon. Total game changer, my hair looked much better and my scalp saw major improvement too. VSST, if you know anybody with a beautician's license, you can send them into the beauty supply stores to buy it for you, and it'll be super discounted since you're getting it direct from the supplier. I was going to buy the fancy shampoo my barber recommended from Sephora, but it was like $30 a bottle, so she just ran to the beauty supply store and got it for $14 per bottle. My dad never went to hospitals unless it was absolutely necessary. One time he was riding his motorcycle in the country, and he crashed. Ended up breaking his leg. He was in an area that had no reception, so this motherfucker walked on his broken leg 5 mother-in-laws to the hospital. Edit, letter. Edit 2, since people are saying they have a lot of respect for him, I might as well follow up with this last thing. He committed suicide by crashing his car. He was strong physically when it came to pain, but he had a lot of mental pain he couldn't handle. Men need to take better care of their mental health and stop focusing on what makes you manly. I once broke my arm falling from the bicycle. I was 13. Didn't bother to tell anyone, slept it off. 2 days later, starts swelling up really bad. Dad takes me to doctor, who immediately orders an x-ray. There is a clean full break in the bone. Doc says it has even started healing, and I'm lucky that it is healing in the correct position, or they'd have to break it again and reset it. I like how you called your dad a motherfucker. It's literally the only time it's accurate. Yoga, especially as you get older. Wish I had started sooner. My husband never really did pedicures before we met, and the first time I did one for him he was in love with it. I used a scraper to get the dead skin off his heels, he calls them hooves, haha, and he was horrified how much came off. He'll even inspect my work now and say this toenail is a little jagged, do you want me to look a mess? He likes being pampered and I'm happy to do it for him. Edit, a number of you asked about the scraper, it's called a pet egg. Edit number 2. Everyone is very hilarious that calls it a pedophile. OMG, my husband loves foot care day so much. We have a heated foot bath that has massaging air bubbles. I'll add Epsom salts or scented bath salts, scrub his feet, and then do all the scraping, clipping, filing, cuticle removal, lotioning. He just luxuriates the whole time. It's the cutest thing. Could you drop a link for the foot bath? I got one for my partner online and they got electrocuted. 010 Edit, y'all. The definition of electrocute is injure or kill someone by electric shock. They were shocked pretty good, but they're alive and well. RIP? Rest in pedicures? I also need link for my man. He'd love one. I've, 35M, have been meaning to try a mani/pedi for years. Maybe the time has come. Do it. I'm around your age and started getting a professional mani/pedi with my sister once a year, and it's amazing. It's become a Christmas tradition for us. I love this so much. Our feet do so much work for us every day. Men who work with tools take care of those tools. That's a good metaphor to get a fellow to be open to taking care of his precious feet. Spare no expense on the things between you and the ground. Feet, shoes, mattresses and tires do much more harm than good when you cheap out. Skin care and applying sunscreen. Yes. My husband applies sunscreen like it's the last bottle on earth and he's afraid he's gonna run out. He literally will dip a fingertip into the tiny amount on his hand and put 4 to 6 tiny dots on himself, rub them in and BSHO. When he looks like a lobster later that evening. He also relies on his chest hair to keep his chest from burning. Spoiler, it doesn't. And then there's me who uses sunscreen like my life depends on it and still gets burned, lol. I've worked outdoor construction for the last 16 years, and I'm the only one in the company that wears sunscreen daily. And all the other guys make fun of me for it. Idiots, lol. Bro, this is why you'll always look at least 10 years younger than them. Yeah, they probably look like old leather couches. Sunscreen, yes. My husband is so hygienic, and cares about his appearance, but this is the one thing. Women, can y'all tell me how to shave my ass, cause I got no fucking clue. Just get a trimmer and squat in the shower. Trimming will get rid of the hair, the small amount left is prickly for maybe a day. You don't get the dreaded regrowth itchies, ingrown hairs aren't as much of an issue, all around 10/10. Trick to reduce the prickliness, sounds weird, but rub denim on the area. It softens the sharp edges of the hair quite a bit. Now I just picture someone taking the leg of their jeans and flossing their ass crack with it, lol. How do you think they get that old jeans look? This person trims. Squat in the shower and reach under my dude. Pro tip, use hair conditioner when shaving any body part that isn't your face. It's much better than shaving foam but does make things slippier, so be careful. Also, if you shave your butt, prepare for unholy swamp ass. I refuse to shave my ass anymore because the grow back is horrific. Edit, love that my top comment is about ass shaving heart. Swamp ass is nothing compared to the perfect fart seal. That makes me shudder. You had my concern but now you have my attention. Every innocuous fart sounds like you just shit your pants. Is this a bug or a feature? Depends on who is in the elevator with you. This is important information. It's impossible to fart quietly for a couple weeks after a good shave. Every little toot sounds like Zeus is descending to destroy humanity. I was trying on jeans for work the other day and I found this magical material that stretches but looks like denim. I was gushing over them and my wife laughed and said a lot of women's jeans use that material and a lot of hers are the same. Men should discover these jeans. Edit, a lot of responses are about the inferior quality. Fair enough, but I work retail and am constantly squatting to fill shelves etc., so I'll take comfort over durability any day. Especially when I've got a bit of an ass on me, customers don't need to be walking around the corner and catching a plumber's crack unexpectedly. My husband was astounded when he found men's stretchy jeans. He hated jeans before that. Conversely, I'm so tired of only finding stretchy jeans in the women's sections. I would like my pants to be much more sturdy so I don't have to keep buying pants. Elastic degrades from laundering much faster than true denim. And you never attain that soft broken-in feeling before it's full of holes. I have young kids, so playing on the ground and being outside just kills the pants. So I'm going in the men's section now, but it's getting stretchy over there too. Crying face. Edit. Okay, we've got some options. Thanks everyone for your input. Tilda Wrangler, Levi, American Eagle, men's work jeans, raw denim, and for some reason rock climbing pants are coming up a lot too. BC, you know, kids be scrambling. I was able to start buying jeans again from American Eagle, and they have quite a selection of jeans without stretch. The best part is, they usually have a comfort waistband so that it's not digging into your stomach. It's the best of both. I was with you, I miss the feeling of real denim for some reason. And they have real front pockets that go up to my wrist. I haven't had a pocket like that on a pair of pants in 20 years. Stretches. Yoga, Pilates is dominated by women. Better mobility, range of motion, injury prevention, indirectly improves strength, prevents joint pain, feels good. My 26-year-old cousin got her mom and dad into yoga with her, and amazingly the dad is now probably more into yoga than the entire rest of the family. He's been a car mechanic his entire life and absolutely loves it. He said it has worked out some pains he's been dealing with for decades. My mom hurt her back at work and the physical therapists were worried she wouldn't get back to her baseline. She was out of work for 4 months and couldn't move for the first 2 weeks, but she started yoga and she's got less back pain than before the accident. My university had free yoga twice a week and it probably took my roommate a year to convince me to go. I never missed a day again. It is like stretching with some optional light exercises and meditation all rolled into one. It really helped my recovery from workouts, and the teacher was always willing to take suggestions for specific areas people wanted to work on if I had pain or soreness. Senior year of college I took gentle yoga to fill a schedule gap. Best decision ever. It was me, one other senior, and everyone else were seniors in the sense of little old ladies. Every day the instructor would ask what hurts and then we'd all do back and neck stretches in a dark room and then fall asleep on the mats. 100% this should be a part of every engineering curriculum. It's also a great way to get active when you're lazy. Sometimes I don't want to exercise, so I just do some basic sitting poses and it gets me going. I'll just sit on my yoga mat and watch TV and gradually start doing more stretches. Trying to make everything a huge workout can be discouraging. Thanks for posting that. I have been stuck in a lazy rut and my body is really showing it. You mentally took me from feeling overwhelmed thinking of how far gone I am to now having a plan that will be healthy, fun and doable. Especially in my home. I can easily do this every day. Second this. I've been keeping my yoga mat rolled out in hopes that it'll encourage me to do more of it, but I keep getting stuck in TV mode. When I get like that I'm going to try sitting on my mat and stretching and see how I feel. Thanks. It's one of those things that's very common amongst the very masculine world of sports but somehow doesn't translate to the rest of mankind. I mean, every testosterone-filled dude out there likes to think they are a weightlifter of some sort, but top-tier lifters absolutely do things like yoga to keep themselves functioning. Moaning during sex. Such a turn-on winking face. I just look at my girl dead in the eye with no expression. This reminds me of an old Ask Reddit thread about what made people never want to have sex with someone again. This guy said he dated a woman briefly who wanted to have contiguous vigorous eye contact the whole time, and then was making really aggressive faces and yelling at him to open his eyes and keep looking at her. Every man I've ever been with was silent during sex. Not a single moan or groan or whimper or word or even the sound of heavy breathing. I always felt weird being the only one making sounds. Never realized this is a common thing. Treating yourself. Self-care. If that means fishing for a weekend, go. Self-care doesn't always look the same. Thanks, just ordered some cocaine and 2 prostitutes. Personally, I think your ratio is the wrong way round. I would order 2 cocaines and some prostitutes. Take a moment. Step outside. Settle back and sit with pride. Take a drive to somewhere new. Spend a little time with you. Sail a rowboat. Ride a bike. Or do nothing, if you'd like. Find a river, skim a stone. Choose a day to make your own. Nights are long when nights are rough. Times are hard when times are tough. Just remember, when you can, you deserve some you time, man. Now you've had the chance to think. Pour yourself that well-earned drink. Put aside your ties and suits. Order coke and prostitutes. Put that on a pillow. Dude, I have a principle in my life. My Sundays are always lazy Sundays. I wake up, go make pancakes and coffee and watch a TV show. Then I go wood chopping or whatever. I'm proud of my lazy Sundays. Wood chopping is not lazy. But what a glorious day that sounds like. Unwinding with something mindless like wood chopping sounds almost therapeutic. I have a sudden irrational urge to order an axe and some wood. Today is Catterday. It's the day I follow my cat's schedule. I know there are plenty of men who do it already, but I feel like more men should start sewing. A sewing machine is a power tool for making things with fabric. I can't make anything nice enough to wear, but I love all the utility stuff I can make and repairs I can do. Yeah. Fixing things is manly. Maybe a sewing machine company can cash in on that. Just make the machines black. Will it be compatible with my Ryobi batteries? Is that like shrink it and pink it for women? No, that's square it up and make it black. It doesn't have the same ring to it, but it's every bit as effective. Black and gray boxes with hard edges can sell just about anything to men. If you're short on time, just skip about 4 minutes till you reach Dove soap, but otherwise the whole video is great. Or the turn of the century steampunk. Just redesign some 1900 Singer Model 27s to have modern convenience and safety. Just show them the embroidery function. They will start making their own Women Want Me, Fish Fear Me patches in no time. I take care of my things and my things take care of me. I mend my own clothes and polish my own shoes. I can get the cheapest sweater to last year's. Seriously though. You can make and fix tents, sleeping bags, custom bike frame bags, backpacks, and of course fixing and making your own clothes. It's incredible. Going to the doctor before they are at death's door. My physician told me that married men live like 5 years longer than unmarried men, or something like that, because of their wives forcing them to be seen. Edit grammar. Ha 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 ha, my partner was showing signs of diabetes. I made him go to the doctor. They asked him what his symptoms are: always thirsty, pees more than he should do, always dizzy, diabetes runs in the family. Doctor's reply? Drink more water. Not even a blood test. I hope you went to another doctor. If not, please keep trying. My mom is on dialysis because the doctor she had half-assed her care the same way. She only got diagnosed with diabetes when she moved and her new doctor actually did his job. Unfortunately by then her kidneys were already shot. I just told my partner this and he jokingly said, nah, but I'm drinking heaps of water like the doctor said, so I'll be sweet. I'm definitely getting him to the doctor again soon. Type 1 diabetic here, I'm super mad for you and your partner. Diabetes should not be fucked around with and a basic test should have taken 30 seconds. If you want to get an answer fast that your doctor really shouldn't be able to ignore, you can go to your local pharmacy and pick up a blood testing device along with some ketone test strips. Those two things will be able to help you make a more educated decision on next steps, and how urgently you need to take them. A glucometer should run around $20 and should have test strips plus a lancing device to do the test included, just double check the box. I recommend the Contour Next, or one of its variants. I've been diabetic for 32 plus years now and have had no major side effects because I've been under great control since being diagnosed. With that being said, the health risks are really not good if he is diabetic and remains undiagnosed, out of control. The longer his blood sugar is off, the greater the risks to him. So, please, make him get tested ASAP. If diabetes runs in the family, just use their thing to check blood sugar levels. They all live in South Africa, and we live NZ, so slightly harder to do than you might imagine. I am a doctor and seriously the wives are always dragging them in there. When my dad was in chemo, we'd regularly check with his doc to make sure they weren't believing a word he said about being fine and to tell them about the issues we were able to coerce out of him. Saved his life and his leg multiple times. It is my firm belief that nobody in cancer treatment should go to doctor visits by themselves, even if they're the type to actually be honest about their issues. Cancer treatment is complicated and emotionally difficult, plus there are times when the patient is going to be too tired or feeling too crappy to be a good advocate and note-taker for themselves. My wife was recently diagnosed and they encouraged her to bring someone. We're fortunate to have a very close friend that's retired and loves my wife to death, so she has been with her at every appointment, takes notes, sends both of us typed up notes after, and has been amazing. I honestly don't know how we do this without her. That was my mom with my dad. He got sick, wasn't eating enough, didn't want to go to the doctor, collapsed in the kitchen, and then she had to call 911. Turned out to be sepsis and he almost died. My dad died. Suffering from Legionnaires and refused to go. He only agreed when his lungs were too far gone and he never made it home. If you have a fever and aren't peeing much, go the fuck to the hospital. I'm so sorry for your loss. Mine died due to stubbornness, too, and I don't know when I'll stop being mad about it. My nan died from stubbornness. It does occasionally happen to women too, but much more rarely. The worst thing is she finally did go into hospital and agree to have the surgery she needed, but by then it was too late. Really screwed up my uncle who lived with her and had spent 3 days trying to get her to go in and never forgave himself for not getting her there sooner. My best friend's mom, single mother, best friend was 18, died from stubbornness. She finally agreed to go to the hospital, cancer diagnosis, 2 days later she was already gone. A longtime friend went, alone, on the trip of her life to India this past spring. She didn't want to be sick when she landed, but she was. She died 3 days later of sepsis alone in her hotel room. She never sought out a drive. I went to the doctor/ER when I was 22. I had fucking shingles coming in on the nerve on the right side of my skull and losing my eyesight. The pain was so bad. The ER thought I was faking it for pills. Even though I weighed 220 and was muscular, not a normal junkie body type, and had no previous medical history of pill usage/abuse. It took a nurse spending lots of time asking me questions to then scream at the ER doctor, discharge me, call my dermatologist and get me an emergency appointment. I was 1 millimeter from losing my eyesight permanently and having a damaged nerve to shingles. Dermatologist put me on 8 different medications to fight it, minimize pain, and strengthen my immune response. Had to have an emergency eye appointment same day too. The hospital billed me $7,000 for doing jack fucking shit to help, and that was 8 years ago. The dermatologist billed me $300 and I doctor $300. Fuck the ER, fuck overworked 16-hour shift doctors, and fuck pouring more money into the medical system for hospital admins and CEOs. I hope anyone working in healthcare admin gets what they deserve coming to them. As shocking as this is, it just doesn't surprise me. My husband had gallstones, went to the ER in terrible pain not knowing what it was, and they sent him home with pain meds saying nothing was wrong and to see the doctor. He was jaundiced by the time he went to the doctor because a stone was lodged in his bile duct. Doctor blew him off, said it was Gerd and he must have something wrong with his liver even though no tests supported that. I blew up on the doctor telling him how gallstones could give you jaundice and that he needed attention right now. We'd had enough time on the internet at that point to figure it out ourselves. Doctor said maybe an ordered test like a week out. We ended up back at a different emergency room for an emergency surgery because our health system is a shit show. Oddly, my gallbladder started up a year later. I went to the ER in terrible pain on a Friday night. They told me to go see the doctor on Monday. I lost 8 pounds over the weekend being in pain and not eating because the attack never stopped. I called the doctor and they said it would be taken care of faster if I went back to the ER. So back I go. The ER doctor said if I was in pain all weekend, why didn't I come on Friday when it started? Bro, I did, and y'all sent me home. They took care of me that day, but honestly US healthcare is so frustrating. My daughter, when she was a freshman in college, was having significant abdominal and went to the local ER. College town, 18-year-old female away from home, no drug test, no pregnancy test, no ultrasound or any labs. Told her she was having anxiety attacks. Weeks later, my internal medicine friend diagnosed her gallstones by my description, no exam or labs. A few days later, after we brought her home, her gallbladder was removed. Some ER docs should not be in practice, they didn't even look for the obvious. It could well have been an ectopic pregnancy that is potential deadly, and the first thing to rule out in a fertility-aged female with unexplained abdominal symptoms. Our entire medical system has been twisted around the dollar. It needs to be uprooted and reformed into a system that actually cares about health and has key features like empathy and beneficence. USA, I fucking hate that you went through that, and I hate even more that it seems all too common. It's a systemic problem that is just going to get worse. I used to have a bad chronic pain problem and I very nearly killed myself over it because of being dismissed by doctors thinking I was drug seeking. We absolutely have a drug problem, but we also have a serious pain management problem, and I don't know what the answer is. Invisible illnesses are made so much worse because we look fine, so we must be lying. I'm glad you didn't lose your sight, and fuck that doctor and all those who assume the same. Scary thing about sepsis is, the mortality rate is about 50%, and it hasn't decreased in the last 40 to 50 years. There is no surefire way to save someone, which is scary AF. And about half of that 50% are previously healthy individuals with no underlying conditions. Sepsis does not care about you. My dad said, well, you don't take a car to the shop if it's not broken. I replied, Dad, you don't even take your cars to the shop when they are broken. You fix them. He just went exactly, very proud. I had no idea how to reply to that crying face. Actually, you do take your car to the shop when it's not broken. It's called maintenance. A lot of people don't do that either. Honestly, when my husband complains about something and refuses to fix it, I tell him to buy life insurance to protect the kids instead. That's what my mom told my dad about 30 years ago. Quit smoking or get a bigger life insurance policy. Unfortunately, we ended up cashing out the policy, but it afforded my mom the privilege of paying off their house and taking care of his funeral/medical expenses. It may be grim, and I hope you never have to use it, but it's good advice. My dad literally dropped dead in the doctor's office. That's how late he left it. And, he only went because my mom made the appointment and dragged him to it. My dad didn't get to the doc till his lung cancer was stage 4 and he had a huge tumor growing on his shoulder. Only made it another couple months. Don't wait to see a doc, you dummies. My friend, I'm fine, I'm young and healthy, and it's not as bad as you think. His wife, you're shitting blood. You're going to the doctors even if I have to knock you out with a frying pan and drag your limp body there myself. The drive, you were 3 days away from dying. We barely saved your life and had to remove a large chunk of your intestines. Why did you wait so long to come in? Him, I didn't have health insurance. Doctor, you have military health insurance. What do you mean you didn't have it? His wife mockingly, I'm young and healthy, I don't need to pay for that scam health insurance. Doctor, the wife, yeah, he's dumb. I know about a dozen people that have put off or not gone to the doctor because they didn't have insurance. I work in admitting for an ER, and it's so common for men to say, because my wife made me come, when I ask what brought them into the ER. They come in with handwritten notes sometimes it's the wife standing in their way from getting up and leaving, but I've seen that as well. I can remember men coming in reluctantly with their wives who were found to be having heart attacks and strokes. Oh, and I'm the wife too, and I'm told my husband's doctor always says, and what does Mrs. _ want you to be seen for today? And, yes, I'll often send a note, D. Handwritten notes. At least they weren't pinned to the back of their shirts, I guess. No, that's just for when we take the bus to an unfamiliar stop. My mom literally forced her boyfriend to go to the ER against his will while he was actively having a stroke. He could barely form coherent words. The man would have died. I can't wrap my head around it. If you liked the video, hit that subscribe button for more content. I post every day, and I'll see you next time with more stories.